What's happening, mate?
How do you mean?
Well, it's not exactly kicking off, is it?
Oh no, it never does. To 8 o'clock!
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly. How about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson. And Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, and joining me tonight is my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford. Well, Ryan, it's a Monday after the weekend, mate. Celtic hit the fantastic 4 against Killie to obviously close the gap at the top of the table. How are you, mate? It's good to see you, and it's good to get a wee chat with you again about the tick.
All good, mate. I'm bringing old school back. I'm in my mum and dad's with the cloak. It's actually working tonight, mate. It's working. We've got a battery fixed. Once I've left, I've got the battery on the cloak working, mate. So, all good.
It's because you weren't paying them big money when that's how we can afford the batteries.
All good, mate. Good to get a victory yesterday. Good results, some goals, clean sheet, some debuts as well. Obviously, we'll touch on. So, yeah, all good, mate. Really good to bounce back after the disappointing Midtjylland defeat. I know we had some troubles with the software during the week, so we didn't really get to speak a bit much in depth about the Midtjylland game, but it wasn't great bouncing back, so that's the main thing, and we've kind of cut the gap a wee bit with Hearts starting points, so in a way it's turned out a good weekend, and hopefully the boys come back after the national break. We get no injuries because the injury list is starting to mount up and we don't need any more. So all good, mate. I hope yourself and the rest of the chat's well as well.
Yeah, and a very warm welcome to everybody that's joining us across the platform. Hope everybody had a great weekend. As we always do, we'll come to some comments early on. We've got Ann evening, JP, Ryan, and the chat. Brad Lad 88, he just says troops, maybe shamrock, lovely, or a 4-leaf clover, whatever you want to call it. Ricey Boy 1888, evening lads, hope you are well. Great one yesterday, Johnny Kenny again. The wee man been brilliant since neill came in. 3 points is all that matters. And Simpson PUSEY had to watch had to watch if I spelt that. Aye, fair enough, fair dues. Scone Butter, good evening, hail hail. Good man, Francis Lester. Good evening, boys and girls. Good result yesterday. Rubber Duck, hail hail, folks. Cheryl and Gary. Evening, JP and Ryan. Hail hail all in the chats. Ian Roy. Evening, lads. Good evening. James Kennedy. Evening, JP and Ryan. Plunge. Evening, boys. Another good result. Decent performance. Not great. We're dropping like flies. Yet another hammy. Ryan, I tell you what, mate. 4 different scorers yesterday, mate. The amount of jumping about I was doing at Parkhead yesterday, man. My hammy nearly went. I'll tell you that right now.
They get the Mrs. UV stretch, mate.
They get Mrs. Big on speed.
My knee at Celtic Park, so sore.
I actually thought I was going to have to wrap my leg up by the time we'd finished the game. It's been a wee while since that feeling happened at Celtic Park for me. Having to do that, you know. Been Breezy Ice says, big up, lads. Good evening. Hope you are well. Geez, I've got a stalker. Alan Weir says, seen you in Subway to Folds yesterday, JP, but I was too starstruck to say hello.
Alan, well, just gave my 6-inch on, mate.
Aye. Any minute you're crappy, man. You're getting about the foot long.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
The way the cookie crumbles. By the way, I've put him up. Used to be free for £1. It's £1.50. Before anybody says anything in the chat, I wasn't in Subway. I was at Subway. I wasn't in it. I wasn't eating at it. I'd already ate from the good Cafe Deja Vu that was in the Forge. So I'd already eaten there. So yeah, me and my dad were actually sitting at the seating area at the Subway. So yeah, Alan, the next time you see me, mate, just come up and say hello. You don't need to be shy. Don't be shy. Give it a try. That's what I always say. Ryan's just to that anyway. We're half tension, aren't you, wee man?
Aye. Hopefully the night will be a good one after a good victory. So we'll be sorted tonight.
Yeah. Obviously Barry Bannon's. Barry texted us half an hour ago. He's dedicated to the cause, wee man. He's got you some subs for your Monday night back again. So he spoke Wednesday boys. They're all tuning in tonight, wee man.
Happy days, man. Listen, I don't mind some footballers' money in the back pocket as well, mate. So they can definitely donate to the cause.
I misread the text. Even he says I've got Palmer. I thought he meant Lewis Palmer. I was like, oh no, Ryan's got to be raging.
I said, come back. Don't want him on the show.
Ryan couldn't wait to get rid of him, man. It's the boy Palmer. It's every Wednesday. Brilliant. But yeah. So I mean, obviously, as you said at the beginning there, Ryan, just before we touch on the game yesterday, you did have some technical difficulties. I put a message out, as everybody probably seen it, across the socials and in the community section of the YouTube channel. We did have a bit of technical difficulty on Friday when Ryan and Daniel were on. So apologies for that. It wasn't our fault. It's obviously what we used to do our streaming platform from. Was obviously having a difficulty on Friday night. And I mean, man, tell us all about your difficulties.
I don't know what happened. It was just taking us out and putting us in and taking the mic off, and the mic wasn't working. And I was apparently no on screen, but Daniel could hear me. So the third time we got through for half an hour, but by the time we got on for the third time, it was just like, we'll need to get this done. It wasn't really, we just had to get it done. So apologies, obviously, to the viewers that we couldn't do the full show as normal, but that's us, obviously. Hopefully now that's everything all sorted. So there's been no bad incident so far. So I think everything's all good. There must have been a wee bug that it caught, and hopefully that's it back to normal.
Yeah, because it seems to be going okay just now. I don't want to jinx us or put us under any bad spells at the moment. So we'll see how we go. But
unless Jack and Victor hang with the free lecky, and then we're good.
Well, this is it. It's Winston doesn't play about with our boxes. We're fine. We're all right. Hopefully he's away somewhere else. As Big Scotto is. That's why he's not here with us. He's away. He's back on duty now after his 14 holidays, he said.
He's only back for one shift. He's away again.
I know. He's away. When is it he's away again?
Friday or Thursday?
Friday or Saturday, is it?
Might be, aye. Just a few days.
I think it might be. Yeah, so obviously yesterday, mate, it was good to be back at Celtic Park. I feel as if I've not been for an absolute eternity, just with things been on with the family and stuff like that. It was good to be there yesterday in person. And yeah, that says it, a continuation on. That's 3 out of 4 games now. Martin O'Neill's got the team winning. Seems to be a wee bit of a spring in the step, Ryan, with some of the players. You can see a difference in the chemistry some of the body language. You can see that hunger has certainly come back into some of them as well. Let's not get away from the fact that Martin O'Neill's not had... He's up for changes, right? You know, yesterday we seen SIMPSON PUSEY. It was good to see that he wasn't a myth. Everybody was beginning to think he was a bit like an invisible man. You know, we knew he'd signed with the club, but we hadn't seen him. And for me, I mean, okay, his first pass goes astray and goes to one of the Killie players. But after that, man, he just settled right in. And he looks assured. He looks, you know, he certainly looks a physical asset for the team. He's really tall. He won a couple of good headers in the air. Some of his headers were quite... I thought they were really... You know, he's a thinker. You can see he's a thinker. Before the ball's coming, he knows where he's wanting to play the ball. He reads the game quite well. It looks as if he's got a ton of speed as well. There was one or two times that you know, the ball was played over the top and he had to make up the ground to get himself in there. Now, he's not a right back, Ryan. You know, he's a centre back. But overall, mate, considering it was his debut, home crowd and stuff, mate, I thought he did quite well. I was more than pleased with what I've seen of him. And hopefully that's a start as we now go on and gear in towards what's going to be a busy schedule for us, Ryan.
I actually thought it was a 3-5-2 with the way it looked, just by the way him playing.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it'd have been kind of two wingers but played as two full-backs, but it was a full 4, well, the full 3-3, but the normal formation. But the first 5-10 minutes, I was thinking, this guy's a bomb scare. This guy's his touch. I'm like, oh no.
Martin O'Neill said that, didn't he?
I was like,
said after 5 minutes, I was going to take him off.
I can understand why he's not been playing if this is the way he's going to be and this is what he's been like. But then he settled into the game. He was more assured. He was passed the ball forward. He defended well. I'm not going to go, oh, he's amazing, or that's him, the guy to come in and play right back until Johnson's back. But he was assured. He'd done his job for considering it was his debut at Celtic Park, under probably a bit of pressure because it was a must-win game. Obviously, every game's a massive one at Celtic, but when you're behind in the league and for a change, we're chasing. So every point is a bonus. Every 3 points is a massive bonus as well. So you've got to win games. Pressure, take one and play well. And I thought he'd done really well. I'm not going to sit and say he was amazing or wow, what a player, but he doesn't look somebody that shouldn't have had any more game time for whatever reason or other. But obviously there's one or two other players that have been touched on. They've not had a lot of game time and how they are still continue to play well now. But no, listen, his inclusion was obviously justified. Was part of a 4-0 victory. Had a clean sheet. Played pretty well. Didn't have too much to do, but what he done, he done pretty well. So I'd imagine when we come back against St Mirren after the national break, he'll be in the squad at least. For me, he looked more comfortable than Ralston. His body.
Ryan, do you know what I liked about him when you're saying they're a bit comfortable and the way he plays? He had an aggression side to him as well, because there was one or two challenges. He had an aggression side to him, and I don't mind that, mate. I think that's we talk about how nice the team are, and the way that sometimes we play, we're too technical. We don't have the one in the middle of the park, mate. Don Robertson calls him over to have a chat with him. Why, I don't know. I've got no idea. He wins the ball. That was kind of directly in my line of sight, basically. He won the ball. And he won the ball. I mean, right. I know he goes through the challenge, but not 1% of Simpson PUSEY's body makes contact with the Killie player. He wins the ball clean. The lad just jumps over the top of him, and it kind of makes, from the behind view, is where the ref had, it makes it look worse. But he actually he's that aggressive. He goes through the ball. But there wasn't just one. That wasn't just the only time he done it. He done it down at the corner flag as well, down where you would normally sit. And you see, there's an aggression to him there as well, Ryan, and a hunger to get the ball, to go in. I don't mind that, Ryan.
No, I thought it was all right, mate. He definitely showed a bit more physical strength. He's definitely better than again, I was more comfortable with him at right back than considering it's not his natural position than I have ever been this season with Ralston or Donovan. Again, there's a lot of people on social media saying, get Donovan in there. Martin O'Neill's not picked him again. So he's not really impressing Maloney or O'Neill if he's needing in the squad. Again, didn't he play? He came off the bench, didn't he? For Mitch, no, did he? Mitch one, did he? If I can remember right. Did he? I don't think he did he actually? Did he? No, he didn't. Donovan, he didn't, didn't he? During the week?
No, he never came off the bench,
no. That was against Sturm Graz he came on, wasn't it? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, listen, again, it's no a down on Ralston. JP, he's been an amazing servant for the club, considering that he was going to be out the door. But like I say to you, for where I sit at Celtic Park, I'm right down below. You get a good vantage point, but when I was at the game at Hampden, I was right down the front, where obviously next to the Rangers fans, and he was right in front of me in the first half. And I don't want to be disrespectful, JP, but he was honking me. His body position, I'm like, you're actually.
How can you actually say that without sounding disrespectful?
Well, I'm not going to sit and say that he's not good enough to beat him, but he's been honking recently, JP. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell the truth. You've got to tell the truth.
No,
realistically, he's not good enough right now to even be 5% choice. And there's Donovan, and I know he's my grade 7, and obviously, listen, he's far better than me, fitter than me, everything better than me. That's why he's at that level. But I seen him against Rangers, mate, and that's a poor Rangers team, and he was all out of the camp. His positional sense, he was inviting pressure. The goal against, was it Midtjylland? Oh yeah, the camp. Like, stop the cross. Like, it's simple stuff like that, mate, that we would not amateur players do that well. And it's just, but again, it's not a slagging match in Ralph, because I'm just saying that boy looked more comfortable, considering it's in natural position. So it'd be interesting to see what he'd be like as a free at the back or two centre backs, if he's going to be playing next to Scales or Trusty or Vickers, if he's obviously still here next year or anything. But again, I don't know if he's somebody that could come in and you could play free at the back at home against if it's a Falkirk or a St Mirren or whatever, because he seems pretty shifty. You've got obviously Scales, who's done pretty well recently, and I'm his biggest fan, but you need to praise when people do well. And Trusty, for me, has been probably our best player the last 3 games. So could you play free back with O'Neill if he keeps a job in the next few weeks? Who knows? But it's probably something, mate, that the manager might have in his thinking cap with a few weeks, obviously, at a national break.
Yeah, no, you touch on, obviously, Simpson PUSEY coming in at right back. He's not a natural right back. However, what I liked about that yesterday was you kind of don't need him. There's a balance there, because you don't need him to go forward the way Alistair Johnson gets forward. He was doing it, don't get me wrong, he was doing it. It's not his go-to. You can see that. He's tailor-made to play passes through the lines and win aerial duels and be physical. You can see that as well. When
just while we're live, JP, I've just had a message for Twitter. Anthony Joseph said Wilfred Nancy's emerged as a candidate for the job. Right,
okay, well, obviously we'll touch on that.
That includes McKenna and Knutson.
Okay, well, we'll touch on that. There is a few comments came in about that, but we will touch on that as we go. What I would say about Simpson PUSEY is he gives you that balance to allow then your left back to go overlapping. And that worked really well for us yesterday, both with Sirachi and then when KT came on. Again, you see a different KT when he comes on the party yesterday. He's more energetic. By the way, that left foot drive he had across the ball, he's been trying that since the Sporting Lisbon game in pre-season. And that's the first one he's got accurate. So I'm beginning to think now, it's took him a wee while to get the bad ones out of the way. And now, hopefully, he's got his shooting boots on now. No, all kidding aside, that was a joke there. But, yeah, what annoys me with KT is I watched closely when he came on. Again, he took a bit of time to warm up into the game, and that's fair enough, because he's coming on to a game. It was By that point, Kilmarnock were trying to counter. We're trying to press the ball and go higher in the pitch. When Tenecki, he's looking for that run in behind. Tierney's wanting him to come short. And I was not going mental, but I was kind of going, why are you asking him to come in? He's wanting to float it over. Because every time Sriracha was doing it, Sriracha was giving it to him, but then Sriracha was going higher and going in the overlap. Hence the reason why he pulls a muscle that he pulls. Because obviously he's up and down. And he's like a Duracell bunny, Sriracha. He can get up and down, no bother. What I liked when Tierney came on was Simpson PUSEY allowed the balance for, like you says, for it to go to a back three. When Hatate then was moving over to the right-hand side, and then he was swapping with Luke McCown doing it to cover that kind of gap there when we lost the ball, and Tierney was kind of going higher in support to Tenecki. See if we can do it more often, Ryan. In my opinion, that's a massive weapon for us. Because there's a threat there. Mm-hmm. And KT still has that threat in him to do that. The trouble is, just now, there is a fitness issue surrounding KT, whether he can do it over a long period of time. But watching, as you said, before Tony Ralston came on the pitch, and he only came on, Ryan, in my opinion, because Simpson PUSEY hasn't played a lot of football. He played a good bit yesterday, but he's not played in a lot of games. But like you says, hopefully that's now the start of, right, we're going to see him. But that's a thing I've noticed since Martin came in. He's not afraid, Ryan, to give people an opportunity. He's not afraid to make changes, mate. It's not like he's come in and just went, I'm just going to do the same as what Brendan was doing here. No. Mm-hmm. He's made changes. He's took Hatate out of the team. He brought Engels into the team. He's put Engels in his natural position, put Nygren in his natural position for other games. He's then, like he says, Johnny Kenny's getting a game more regularly. He's scoring goals. He's reaping the benefits of that. He's putting the ball in the net. You've seen Callum Osmond. Mm-hmm. He exploded onto the scene, in my opinion. Right into a Glasgow derby and scored, which ultimately put Celtic into the final. And people are saying, right, JP, well, it was a tap in, it doesn't matter. Hold on a minute. Prior to that happening, we were struggling to score goals, right? We went through games this season, mate, where we have struggled to score goals. As much as we've scored 20 in the league already. And we're not even the top scorer in the division. But since Martin O'Neill's come in, we've scored quite a lot of goals. That's come back in amongst the team. And it's as if there's a confidence starting to come back amongst the group, Brian. They're looking, like you says, mate, they're looking to play forward quicker. They're not taking as many touches on the ball. But the ultimate one for me, Ryan, is in the thick of these games that we played. Okay, but we lost to Midtjylland, and it was a bad loss. But again, you've got to look at the moments of that. We've got a lot of players missing. We weren't equipped, in my opinion, to deal with a team who's in full flow and harmony. And as much as people are going to say, JP, it's Midtjylland, we should be beating teams like that. But in a moment, you've got to look at things in perspective. I agree, we do. We probably should be beating teams like that. But unfortunately, due to an array of different circumstances, we weren't equipped to go into that game the other night, into a team that was flying, But the team are more direct under Martin O'Neill, Ryan. And it's as if that's an instruction. But what I will say is, I've been asked a couple of times about the hamstring injuries, this, that, and the next thing. We know for a fact that the training has changed also since Sean Maloney's got his hands on some of the team. Not in drastic measures, however, the intensity and the way they train has changed. So, do you think, Ryan, because the intensity increases there. Do you think that's possibly why we're seeing, we've seen this under Big Ange, when you're training at a higher intensity, when you're doing something that your body's not used to, things start happening to you. Whether it be a warm-up needs to change before the game but during the training line, obviously the intensity and the way that they train is obviously increased now. Now that you've got guys like Mark Foringham and Sean Maloney and other boys, it's fresh eyes and a fresh idea. More of an enthusiasm about the group, in my opinion. And all that into, putting all the pieces in that jigsaw together, do you reckon that that's possibly why we're seeing the hamstring injuries happening the way they are?
Could be, mate. Anybody who's played football, any level of football, if you move teams to maybe a better league or a better team, or you move up to a professional level, if you're going for a junior or amateur, the training will obviously be quicker because you're playing maybe with better players, or if the managers want to introduce new things, then and the intensity level goes up, then you will feel a bit of tightness and stuff like that. So I can always remember when Stuart Armstrong and Gary Mackay-Steven came here. Now, Down United were playing the Premier League, I'm sure, at the time. Obviously, full time, probably athletes, train really hard, train really well, look after themselves. And they've came to Celtic and went, wow, the intensity level when they came here. And I'm sure Dyer was here when they came to Celtic. So under Dyer, the intensity was really quick. And Armstrong's like, it took me a good few weeks to get used to training here. So listen, they've obviously incorporated new styles of intensity into the training. They've maybe trained harder because of maybe they went through, they've had to up the levels. Aye.
By the way, that could be. I felt my head was in about some of your videos, by the way.
It could also be as well.
Alistair Johnson tried to copy you with that run back towards the defence. And
it could also be that some of them aren't match fit and they're getting played games where they're maybe no match fit to last 90, or they're no fit enough to play at the level yet. So when they're thrown in, good, like Ian says there, for Osmond, he's came to playing B team football. Yes, he is training with the first team, but training intensity to game intensity at that level, I've not done it before, but I'd imagine it would be extreme. It's like if you're on the bench for a long time and then you get put into a game, doesn't matter if it's 90 minutes, half an hour, you feel it. It's much better intensity. So that could be reason. That could be a reason as well. So actually, I hope it's not a bad one.
The good thing was the stretcher was called. He walked off.
So I hope it's just maybe a wee niggle and maybe give it 10 days, 2 weeks, and should be fine. The St Mirren game, you can play KT. Listen, I'm still fine with Kieran Tierney. I know people are going to maybe give him a wee bit of a kind of no abuse, but maybe give it tight for not being fully fit, etc. He's not missed a lot of games. I know he's maybe not the pomp he was, but he's not missed a lot of games. So he's fit, but maybe he's not fit enough to do what he used to do. But again, like I said with Daniel, I don't know if it got across fully because obviously with some issues, but if Kieran Tierney is getting covered by the club that he's got an injury that's there, or there's a reason behind why he's not fully fit, come out and tell us, because he's potentially the highest paid player at the club. And if he's not fully fit and there's reasons why he's not playing at the level he should be, come out and tell the fans. But like I said, I'm not going to sit and talk about it for long, JP, because listen, if the board can't come out and give us a statement properly, so they're not going to come out and tell us about KT. It's not going to happen. So, but no, it could be a reason why some of the players are getting injured. As intensity levels are obviously maybe enhancing. For me, this is the time of year where you'll maybe not do a lot of training. You might do maybe shape, or you might do wee drills, but because of the amount of games will be getting played soon, Christmas time, you're maybe playing 3 games in 6 days, etc. That could be a long period of games, so you might not actually get a lot on the training park. It might be just recovery sessions, and obviously I've watched a podcast with Casper, and every day and every morning, or every night, he's in the ice baths, he's in these saunas, he's obviously well prepared. I'd imagine some of the players will be the same. So, listen, it could be a reason behind it, mate, but I just hope that every player comes back to the national break fully fit, or obviously not fully fit, but healthy to a degree, and
Yeah.
there's no more injuries, because there's certain areas of the park where we're actually got an Austin Trust injury away from crisis, but a KT injury away from a crisis, or a
Johnny
Johnny Kenny injury away from a crisis. So we're probably in a Cal McGregor injury away from a crisis in the middle of the park. So I just hope everybody comes back healthy, mate, and
If Cal McGregor gets injured, they must have been playing, I don't know, Twister, with his cousins or something, because he's chucked international duty now.
Rab, don't say that again, mate. Scales can't be in its captain. No, Rab, can't say that. No, Rab. Rab, no.
Well, to be fair, I mean, as Rab saying, it's captain. He's already been the captain. So,
exactly. Don't know why.
He's already been the captain. By the way, he's got a better
record.
He's got a better record than Cal McGregor at captaincy. He's not been beat.
That's true. Aye.
So that's something big. Scales. He's got a shout out Callum. Actually, he's not been beat. The game at Scales, he was the captain. We won. So.
Lindsay, I'm just about to go to my mum and dad's cupboard and get the bleach shooting him if he says that again.
There's quite a few people else. Sharon and Gary's big Rab, obviously they agree with Rab. So
ridiculous.
I would love nothing more to see this 40 with the captain's armband running his arm the next time. Honest to goodness.
Scales gets the armband, man. My season took in the bin, man. I'm not going back.
Wilfred Nonce makes Liam Scales Celtic captain.
Half a ticket list, half a ticket scheme. I'm not buying anything.
Callum McGregor's sin bin for 6 months.
Oh no! I don't want to think about that.
Put him on a strict diet. Weetabix every day.
Aye.
So you can run WD-40 for your knees. No, listen. Hamstrings it's a very complex injury when they do happen to you. I've been fortunate in my time playing football and stuff. I've never done my hamstring, but I've done both my calf muscles. So I would imagine it's something similar. It just feels like when your calf goes, it feels like a bubble, and I've heard it explained to me whenever I've played with guys who've done their hammies. It just feels like a bubble going off in your leg, at the back of your leg, and then you feel a burning sensation with a lot of pain, a tightness, and it's the same when you do a calf. So I'll talk about a calf muscle here before any farmers out there maybe watching us that think I'm talking about baby cows or anything like that. Just
people must listen to this and go, I've went for talk about Celtic to half-10 shows to milking cows. I never even mentioned anything about milking cows. Come on, man. Come on, you've just took that too far. We've went for a guy that does a Scotland, a Celtic show,
Francis,
a farming
honestly,
show.
He's poked me on the half-10 muscle, I'm telling you, mate. People that are tuning in must be like, what is going on here?
I've subscribed to that podcast. No, all my fans, an animal show.
James, on the farm tonight, we have...
tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be a calf.
I'm going to be a calf, aye. How do you know Ryan's on holiday? Because he's a wee calf.
A wee calf.
Better hope maybe he comes in there by the way, disrupts that nice wee outlet you've got there with that cloak. It's good to see there's a battery in it though.
That's working.
Good stuff.
That's the main thing.
Somebody did ask earlier about the time, Ryan.
20 past, so 7:30, 8:30, sorry.
7:30, 8:30. He's not put his clock back yet. Look,
2:30, 3:30.
He's put his clock too far back.
Put the cheese away, you idiot.
Yeah. So we got obviously 4 goals. Obviously, the first goal comes off some really good play with Tenecki. Prior to that, Ryan, Johnny Kenny hits the post. Now, when he hits the post, mate, it goes in a mad direction. It goes in a direction that you would think, right, that's going in. It's got to go in. Any other way on the post, that hits, that goes in. Again, mate, another lad that's come into the team and, you know, done really well in the derby. Set about that Rangers backline. Manoeuvred his way around a couple of bodies to get that good, decent header. It was a peach, in my opinion. And, yeah, he's, in my opinion, man, he's done very, very well since Martin O'Neill's gave him belief. He's now got himself a call-up to the international stage through scoring some goals. And, again, mate, we've all said he's a young lad. We want to see a bit more. We want to see more hold-up play for him, a bit more strength, a bit more. But again, mate, a guy that's coming into your team and he's scoring goals, can we argue about it?
No, well, I think what game was it? Was it the Falkirk game? I can't remember what game it was, but guys like Johnny Kenny and Osmond and stuff, I think I did say, was it last week or the week before, that it's as much as that we might not rate whoever it is, or we might not think of them just yet, that's, if they play well, it's their jersey to lose. It's Johnny Kenny's jersey to lose now, in my opinion. As much as I did kind of write him off, but every right so, because he's hardly kicked the ball. He's not really showed anything to say that he's going to be a long-term number 9 or even an unbelievable second choice. Because I keep going back to guys we've had in the past, and it's no disrespect to Osmond and Johnny Kenny, and even Ian Natural to a degree. We've had like Kyogo, Giacomakis, and then you had Kyogo, and even Almeida to a degree, still scored 20-odd goals. You've had Dembele, Edward, Griffiths, Hooper, Stokes, Commons, all the guys. So it's probably we need to be honest, it's probably the weakest we've had striker-wise in a long time. We've always had a good front number 9. We've also had a very, very good or able second choice. And the third choice been no bad.
Yeah.
It's not been great, but if Johnny Kenny's confidence, anybody who's played football will tell you, doesn't matter what ability you've got, competence is a massive thing. Especially, I can all talk for myself, playing up front, it's massive for you. If you score a goal, you that week and you win, you can't wait to get to training on Monday or Tuesday, just if you're amateur or professional. The next day you train, you can't wait to train again, you can't wait to get to training, see the lads and train again. Then the Saturday or Sunday where you play, you can't wait to play again because you think you're going to score. That's what Johnny Kenny will be feeling. That's the way he'll be feeling now, because he's got obviously a goal against Rangers, goal against Falkirk, and then now he's got a goal against Kilmarnock. So he's listen, goal scoring, people might think I'm biased because I played there, but for me, scoring goals is the hardest thing in football. It's for me, it's the hardest thing to do. To be a finisher and score goals is the hardest thing to do, and he's doing that. So whatever I think about him, his hold-up play or certain things, he's got to do better. He's scoring goals, and if he's scoring goals, then you'll continue to play. If you're saying Adamida, I think Adamida fought to receive a lot of time, but if you're scoring goals, you're probably going to play. So he's doing well, JP, considering he's come out, let's be fair, he's come out for nowhere, really. He didn't really play under Rodgers. Even off the bench, Harley came off the bench with Rodgers. I still don't understand how he played well, got a 4-year deal, and then he wasn't really seen for a few weeks. It just, with Rodgers, it didn't make sense. But listen,
he is a bit physical, I know, Ryan. I mean, he puts you, I know he's quite a skinny lad, or he looks like that for the outside, but you can see he's got a bit of strength about him, Ryan, because he's, you know, he puts his body into things, and he's no the speed of Kyogo or Maeda or anything, but in my opinion, he gives a decent enough energy, and he does try.
Definitely put himself in. I'm not saying to be the number 9 longer term, but he's definitely put himself to be an able deputy, if it's second choice or third choice. So listen, he could sprout wings and be unbelievable. right? I'm only talking about for the standards. Listen, I've maybe too higher standards for Celtic strikers, just maybe because of what I've grew up with. Obviously, that O'Neill teams, you're very rarely going to get that again, right? But even when you had like Stratton and even with Mowbray, with Robbie Keane on loan, we always had a top striker all the time. We've always had 2 or 3 good strikers every so often that came through. Even Stokes was all right. He was a goal scorer. Commons, goal scorer. Griffiths. We've always had a top number 9. So maybe it's unfair that we really compare Johnny Kenny to them and just actually go with what he's gain is. I'm going to just stick with that now. I'm not going to say that he's no number 9 or he's going to make. Just let him do what he's got today and hopefully continues to get better, because every week with Celtic playing, and if you play with Ireland and get experience going with Ireland, then if you can get better doing that, then you're not going to get better. So he's got a chance of a lifetime now, JP Johnny Kenny, for me. He's got a chance to go and make his a career Celtic, be that as the longer term, or if it's at least been part of the squad every game and playing for a few years, whatever, how long he's here for. But he's definitely a goal scorer, you can see it, but we'll see how if you want to call it his long game, will be. But listen, all you can do is a striker score goals, mate. I always want more off a striker, but some managers just want the guys to score goals, and if that's what he's doing at Celtic and winning games, mate, then that's all he can do. So it's Johnny Kenny's place to lose, mate. No matter what anybody thinks of him, me myself, I don't think he is going to be the number 9 longer term. But I can't think of that right now. All I need to do is support him. Hope he continues getting confidence and scoring goals. And listen, I'm happy if it's the end of the season or next year and he's scoring 30 goals and been the best striker in the league, I'll eat my words, mate. So as long as Johnny scores goals and we win games, mate, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can ask to do. It's, we can only ask him to score goals. He's been given an opportunity. It's not Johnny's fault that, Celtic don't have other options just now due to injuries, etc. And he's, in my opinion, he's doing his job. He's coming in, he's making a contribution. He's helping the team score goals. He doesn't need to score all the time, but a lot of his movement is decent, Ryan, for what I've seen. He's got that instinct in the box. We'll just need to work out the best delivery for him in terms of the way we can get the ball across. He's got that instinct, mate. He peels off players. You've seen that against the game at Hampden against them, where he peels off and he directs his header. And for me, he's got good movement and he's quite physical. He puts his body into things. He doesn't shy away. He's certainly not a blouse that way. That he doesn't shy away from things. He'll put himself about, and I do like that. He might not be the best on the eye. I mean, he's no R9. He's not going to skin hundreds of people and run by them, but he gives a good account of himself, Ryan, and that's all we can ask, mate. That's all we're asking for. But that's why he's doing more than what others have done. I have been given more of an opportunity, in my opinion, in recent times. So, yeah, and I do like the look of Callum Osmond as well, mate. I did obviously think, we were onto something there. And something, again, it is a shame. That could actually, it could be a sliding doors moment for me. That could actually finish his Celtic career. He might not get back in there. I can't see it.
No, I don't mean finish his career, but what I mean is, say in January we're going to get a top striker. Yeah. Kenny might, but then you've got any natural, and then you've got him, and a new manager comes in, might not rate him, so that's so unfortunate for the boy. Because,
I know what you're saying. However, I do. I mean, I would imagine, because he's age as well, I would imagine it's not going to take him long to get back to, fitness, and hopefully he's a quick healer and he can get back in time to see at least another bit of the season.
And hopefully as well he doesn't keep pulling up with ham injuries now, because I've not done what you have, I've not done my hammy, but
that's the first time he's done it, apparently.
Obviously, we chatted to Baz. He's done his hammy a few times as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's at professional level, and they get all the best of care. So, I think once your hammy goes, it's always in tender hooks. It can potentially go again. So, I just hope, obviously, JP, they've got the or the
But
best
Baz
rehab.
is doing the stretching videos with Mr. Motivator in the morning and all that, before he goes
He's
to, before he
I'm
goes into Sheffield.
I'm trying to get him in to help with subs and to help me, but he's saying no. He's not having it yet. I'll need to wait till he retires, and then he might want a wee bit of income. So
I know he was doing a good bit with Windass. I know he was doing a good wee bit with Josh. They were doing a wee bit of stretching with one another, but he's missing him now, isn't he? He's away, obviously. He's not there now, so he's not got a stretching buddy. But I can understand.
What was that?
Some of the shapes in the videos that I've seen.
What was that?
What was that? One of these got a couple of hammies.
Imagine Windass and Baz doing that column me video on it, but the heatbands not that.
Aye.
Oh, brilliant.
Aye.
Brilliant.
Windass would look like a retired member of Dire Straits or something with one of the headbands on.
Aye, but I just hope the guy doesn't get any more injuries, mate, any more hammies, because
I think
again,
if
I'm
Baz
like
put
you.
one of the headbands on, he'd look like Joe Pesci, one of the wet bandits out of Home Alone, wouldn't he?
Aye. But I just hope it doesn't get any more injuries in terms of hammies. Osmond, I know, like I say, me and you have not done it, but we speak to other players who are obviously speak to Baz and other guys who have played football. Once a hammy goes once, it's always a bit tight and they need to do extra stretching. So I hope it doesn't take away speed or anything like that. I just hope he comes back to the way he was. And listen, if he started really well the last few games as well, and then obviously that's happened. So I just hope he gets his rehab all right, mate, and comes back into the fold.
Yeah, definitely. Like Grab's saying there, that we've got a 30-goal a season striker playing right wing. Kenny's keeping him out wide. I would agree with that to an extent. However, in my opinion, I think it's well documented that obviously Maeda probably wants to, try a different challenge and move on to a newer feature somewhere else. As probably does some of them in the squad, I would imagine. That's probably some of the difficulties that we've had to face since the summer. I've been around football long enough now, Ryan. I know that football cycles only last so long, mate, and then they come to an end and change, and I think that's what we've seen this season with Celtic. I think that, in my opinion, Ryan, the job that Martin O'Neill's done since returning has been remarkable, mate. 3 wins out of 4. We've scored quite a lot of goals in the games and all. It's quite a high return of goals. And he's come into a situation, Ryan, where things weren't all singing and dancing, mate. And he's brought a harmony. He's certainly brought a bit of a harmony with the fans. I know there's still obviously chants about sack the board and there's this and that, and there's also the Celtic fan collective and things that are happening. But there's an energy again now. Being there yesterday, you felt that. There's an energy in the stadium again. And that was missing towards the end under Brendan, in my opinion. And again, mate, I go back to it. I think it's because we've got a fresh group of eyes in amongst the group. A guy that's, not just Martin O'Neill. I want to commend Sean Maloney here as well, because he's done a lot of work with him as well. You can see that, even watching them defending set pieces yesterday. There was height and there was physicality in our team yesterday. Another guy we've not even mentioned, you talk about Austin Trusty. He's come in, mate, and he's been absolutely a breath of fresh air, in my opinion, so far. And it's, it's early days, but I'm only talking about this season. I think his performance levels have been better than Cameron Carter-Vickers. I don't think that's unfair to say. There's been quite a few faults. And then, obviously, an injury issue now with Carter-Vickers. But in terms of his performance, Ryan, he's not put a foot wrong, mate. And he's passing the ball with his right foot as well. So, a few weeks ago, mate, we were hearing about there was an imbalance if he played there. And, he wasn't picked to play at Tynecastle. And Brendan picked Dane Murray, which in my opinion, mate, is absolutely abysmal decision-making. And again, it probably highlights, mate, where we, at that point, where we had got to. Because for me personally, I feel that Brendan Rodgers lost enthusiasm. He lost something because his man management judgment was obviously clouded. Because you look at the results of Austin Trusty coming into the team now, and he's been absolutely colossal now.
Again, I was a massive fan of Brendan Rodgers, and I think wherever he goes, he'll be. I've seen links to obviously Saudi Arabia. Scott Burns has put out today, and Scott Burns is normally pretty reliable.
Hold on, there's a wee comment there I just want to pick up. Plunge, I didn't pick Dane Murray, mate. See if you go back and listen. If you go back and listen, I said at the time Dane Murray would play because I know Brendan Rodgers liked Dane Murray, and that's the reason why Dane Murray would play. I says I like the look of Dane Murray. So Austin Trusty has totally surprised me in that way that he's come in and performed at the level that he has. He's now looking like a £6 million defender. But prior to that, and what I'd seen of Austin Trusty, he was getting pushed about with Simon Murray. And that wasn't that long ago either. So this is what I'm saying about the difference, you know. But sorry, Ryan, I didn't mean to cut in there. I was just wanting to answer kind of Plungy's comment. But what I did say is I thought Dane Murray would play based on Brendan Rodgers' decision-making. And I was proven right because Dane Murray played in the game at Tynecastle, which obviously resulted in a wrong decision, right?
Like I say, I'm a massive fan of Rodgers. I was when he here the first time. He done well at Leicester, done well at us, but you can kind of see in the last few weeks his tenure here. Obviously, Alan Bazal says right away within a day or two that he's heard rumours he was going to Saudi Arabia. There's rumours today, an article with Scott Burns, who's normally pretty reliable with Scottish stuff. He said that there's interest for Saudi Arabia, so seems that Alan was always maybe right. And we all know these things. I'm not saying that he was wanting his ticket or he knew that, but I'm not saying that. But these things don't just happen overnight. Like the thing with Leicester didn't happen overnight, and with Spurs didn't happen overnight. So I'm not saying he was wanting his ticket, but there could have been a reason where he's maybe thought, well, if I resign here, I can potentially, it means I can go if need be. But listen, I can't sit here and say that it was definitely doing that. I'm only going by Alan was all said it and Scott Burns has said it. So, but Brendan Rodgers not playing Austin Trusty is absolutely diabolical. I'm still confident we'll go win the league by a few points. Actually, to be honest, I still think we'll go win the league. But we need to obviously have a good January. We need to get a right manager in charge as well. If that's O'Neill, listen, so be it. But whoever it is, we need a proper kind of settled team, a good January. But that if potentially just say you lost the league JP with 1 point, right, to Hearts, just say scenario, and that's potentially the game that costs you, then Brendan Rodgers has a lot to answer for playing Dane Murray in front of Austin Trusty. No saying Austin Trusty might have not made any mistakes, but Austin Trusty wouldn't have made a mistake for a penalty because he's too experienced. He wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done the OG personally. I think his body position would have been better. I actually think Austin Trusty's all right, JP. I've always thought he's been all right. Obviously the Dundee situation, a few other games, we've all criticised that every right so. But he played 20 games last year, I think, when about in the right-hand side of the defence. So this thing about Rodgers said about balance, it was nonsense. It was absolute nonsense. And then against Atalanta, him and Scales away from home, different class. European games, it was brilliant. So it's not like he can't play in Europe. It's not like he can't play at a good level. The last 3 games, he's looked like a £6 million, a proper physical, aggressive. The game at Hampden, he was absolutely different class. He won everything in the air. He was going through people. I'm thinking that's what I want for a centre back. And he's actually kind of helping Scales, not helping Scales, but he's, how do I say it? He's complementing Scales. The two are doing well with each other. But yesterday again, he was different.
The two of them talk to one another as well, Ryan. I like that. The two of them communicate.
I'm praising Scales as well because Scales has done well. But the only reason I'm praising Trusty a lot is because he's not really been playing, and he get shut out, and then now he's back in, and he actually looks like he's never really been out of the team. And it's why he's not really playing as well when Carter Vickers is not underperforming, because if somebody says to you that that's a guy that's hardly played, you'll be thinking, what are you talking about? The fact that also that he was going to play Dane Murray over Nerofsky is it's in Lager Bielka. It doesn't make sense, JP. I don't know if Rodgers wants to give guys a chance and he goes, right, I'll give you a few games, and then right, if you're not performing, I'll take you to the team. Because Nerofsky played well 3 games, boom, out of the team. Lager, Bielka, maybe he had a few, 1 or 2 shaky moments in the first half at Ibrox. He had one bad moment in Feyenoord. Apart from that, he was never, this guy's horrible or he's not good enough. But then you see enough of him. And then he comes to Celtic Park. He's got the cigars out, the slippers out. Hey, Beckenbauer, he was brilliant at Celtic Park. Listen, it might be a poor Celtic team at that point in time, but it's European football, and he stole it. So he's not a bad player. Plays with Sweden and the Sweden team. Not a bad player. Nerofsky, for me, listen, I know he's only played 1 or 2 games with Hanover, but he got injured at the start of the season. When I've seen Nerofsky, he's never looked like Maldini, but he's never looked like a guy that should be not even playing any games. So you're bang on, mate. It's absolutely delusional how Brendan Rodgers played Dane Murray, and that's not only Dane Murray, by the way. It's no disrespect to Dane Murray. Dane Murray is an up-and-coming, well, he's 23. He's had 1 or 2 crucial injuries. He's had a stop-start career. Is he good enough for Celtic longer term? I don't think so. But it's down to him now to come in, and obviously they get a new manager to come in and impress. He's still got a lot of time on his hand to get better, JP, and obviously get in the team. But the fact that Austin Trusty has not really played much, mate, this season, considering he was really good for his last year in certain games, especially Europe, I don't get it. No, P. McLaughlin's right. I still, when he threw Nerofsky, Dane Murray at Aston Villa, I'm sure we were only 3-2 down at the time. And they put him on. We're still in the game. It's criminal, JP. I don't understand why he done it. I know he keeps saying about they need to come in and learn. Sorry, Brendan, you're learning games that are no big games when they don't need to play, when they're under pressure. Hearts, Aston Villa, that's for guys with experience. And again, mate, it's done now, but that's
where I went in, Ryan, in terms of Brendan's judgment being clouded, mate. Obviously, there was things, as we know, obviously with Dermot Desmond's statement and things there was obviously things happening in the background and in the back burner, and it must have been happening for a period of time. We know that now, due to his departure. Listen, it was coming ahead, regardless, Ryan. Whether it was, a resignation or a potential sacking, it was coming to that point, mate. And like I say, as I go back to it, mate, the cycles do come to an end, I'm afraid. Celtic fans can all probably agree here that, Brendan Rodgers has now left us both times now in a selfish circumstance. But for me, I can understand why, a part of me understands now why a bit of the summer window went the way it did. You've got a guy there that probably wasn't all in terms of the team and everything else. And the board have probably said to themselves, right, well, we certainly only going to give you our full backing if you're not giving us your full backing by giving you we've gave you a decent deal here. You're not willing to sign, you want more time to think about it, and then he comes out and he gaslights us by telling us that they haven't, so as I say, that for a period of time, Ryan, all wasn't pretty at the table, and through a combination of various different things all happening, it led to what we've seen by Brendan Rodgers moving on. But overall, mate, in games that Celtic were playing weeks and weeks ago, judgment was being clouded. It was a wrong decision to play Dane Murray. The boy then ends up with a noose round his neck and left hung out to dry due to making some errors in a game that was, it could have been avoided. I believe the players must have lost enthusiasm with the manager. Hence the reason why, because you don't go for Ryan, see when we get beat at Tynecastle, mate, did you then see that same Celtic side, with obviously a couple of changes, but that same Celtic side then the week later going and beating Rangers in the semi-final?
I'd have been less confident with Rodgers as much as I can't even saying that, but I know when we get beat for Hearts.
But that's circumstantial though. You're talking about that you know.
I can't say that we wouldn't have won the game. I don't personally. It's just my opinion. I don't think anybody can, because it's a cup game. It's at Hampden. It's a different. It's not the league that the players might have put in a performance. I don't know. I'd have been less confident, shall I say. But I did say to you, kind of no on camera, but I didn't want to come on the podcast and go, we won't win the league and we won't do this, we won't do that. But I think if the longer Brendan Rodgers was there and the longer the team weren't performing, you'd have dropped more points sooner rather than later. And eventually you'd have then had to either sack them, or it'd have been right, well, what do we do now? Do we just keep them until January? Like, the board would have had a decision to make. And the performances weren't great, JP, for a long time. It wasn't just 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Let's be honest, the performances were pretty rank for probably March or so. Aye, they weren't great. The semi-final, listen, people can call it entitled or whatever. Celtics have won that cup final because we're out of sight the cup final and we won there. And ever since then, there was a wee bit, no a dark cloud in it about the summer, but it was like, that was a deflating moment for us, because I'm not saying we expected to win a treble, but you were thinking 1-0 up, go and see the game out. And then the summer window happens, you're thinking, right, let's go, man. We've got a big bit of pot of money here. We've come off a really good season, take away the cup final. We've got a major stepping kind of block here. And then you find out you get Almaty, you're thinking, here we go, man. Like, it's kind of not a free pass. Well, it kind of is a free pass in terms of both teams and the infrastructure and the finances we had to navigate that tie.
Well, here's a question, right? So, see the Celtic squad that fielded 2 ties over the 2 ties against Almaty, even at the time, right? Hold on a second. Do you think if Martin and Neill's there, we won that tie?
Probably,
especially the game at Celtic Park.
Potentially, but the only thing is, like you say, circumstances. If O'Neill was there weeks before then, what was the circumstances with O'Neill? Like, we don't know if we were winning games.
No, I'm just saying, if Martin O'Neill, and obviously what you've seen in Celtic now, right, are re-energised in the way things are. If Martin O'Neill was there when we played Kairat, does Celtic beat Kairat and get to the Champions League?
The way they're playing the new, aye.
100%.
I just think, especially at Celtic Park, I think you probably win that game 2 or 3-0 at least.
And bearing in mind, by the way, even then, you're probably a bit stronger because you've got Adam Ida there as well, who also has a goal scorer, who also scored goals for us last season.
It would have helped
at that point in time.
Aye, we O'Neill. Listen, as much as I was never Adam Ida's biggest fan, but one thing Adam Ida would have probably done with Martin O'Neill, he would have probably got service, because O'Neill likes to go direct. We were very direct yesterday. It's one thing I've noticed. Even Scales is passing the ball forward a lot quicker. A few players are passing a lot quicker. What's that?
There you go, JP. Question for you. During the COVID season, if we brought Martin O'Neill in as an interim, do you think he'd have won us the 10? Yes, I do. That's just off the top of my head. Yes.
We might have. If it's to me,
he's trying to think back in hindsight. Even with the squad, I think that Martin O'Neill coming in line with Edward, with boys. You think he gets that team over the line?
He might have. He might have made Edward feel like the best player in the world. Because for me, Edward seems like the sort of guy he needs a wee cuddle. Right,
he's done that with Johnny Kenny.
Listen, he could have. Obviously, speaking
You're
with
better
Baz.
Messi, wee man.
Obviously, speaking with Baz on here, and he's told us things about O'Neill.
Yeah,
obviously on the podcast.
Well, wasn't wrong, by the way. Before we'd even kicked a ball under Martin, he told us right away the team would be.
So listen, look, it's a good question. It's a good debate. You could actually ask it to a lot of Celtic fans.
You could probably do another podcast on that one.
Aye, but listen, I'll stick by it. If COVID didn't happen, Celtic would have won the 10. It's just that season. It wasn't just Celtic that didn't win the league that year. If you look all around the world, I think Bayern Munich, did they not lose the league as well? Or was it teams at PSG not lose the league as well that season?
I think they did. I think Lille won that.
Aye, there was a few teams that won consistently. They didn't win that league that year. So it's kind of, I'm not going to sit and say that was the reason behind it, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, look what's happened now. Celtic, look what's happened now. The team that did win the league that year here have never won it again.
Aye. But guys like Edward would listen. He's actually a guy I don't really need to speak about here because he's obviously away and done now. But there was a chance that we could go him for £4 million in the summer.
Who?
Rogers committed Edward. He's doing really well. Was it Lille or
Lons? Is it Lons?
Lons. He's doing pretty well down there in France. No, down there, left, right, or whatever you want to call it. He's doing well there. He's scoring a few goals. He's playing most weeks. Again, we keep saying about we don't want all players back, but I keep saying there's a certain player that you can get back. Jota quality. KT, I think KT's still a decent signing. If KT was getting 20 grand a week, we'd all say he's a decent signing. It's just because he's on a high earner. He's came for Arsenal and we're probably spent a bit more. But if somebody like Edward was in this Celtic team, JP, then for £4 million, it was an absolute no-brainer, man. And Rogers, he's come out saying, he kind of basically said he didn't want him. He wants this and wants physicality. He doesn't want, he was basically saying he was lazy. And I don't care what anybody says, Edward's no lazy. It's just, that's the way they are. But Nancham was the same. It's just the way they look. Nancham, Dembele, just dead relaxed, dead kind of laid back. But you seen Dembele and Nancham and Edward, when they had to play JP, they were different class. And Nancham on his, again, like Hatati, on his day, Nancham was different gravy. Like, that's your way for home. Superb, man. But aye, no, listen, O'Neill, we could sit and debate about could they have won the league under COVID, could have won the league in Mowbray's season. I don't know. It's all hearsay, but
we wouldn't get beat 4-0 with St Mirren. Oh, I bet we'll talk to soon. We play St Mirren right after the.
I know, but our St Mirren podcast. I know.
We play St Mirren right after the international break. I better not talk too soon. No, but they beat us. What was it 4-0? They beat us under Mowbray. Resulted in Mowbray getting a sack.
No, James, I know he won't come back to his new mate, but there was strong links in the summer. And we speak to a few people. I think the interest was pretty. I think there was a potentially something there, but Rogers basically said no. He came out and basically he didn't say his name, but he did come out and say players like we want this, we want that, and it was kind of basically saying that he didn't want Edward. But for me, again, if that potential was really, really full of substance, it's a no-brainer, JP, £4 million, a player like that. And then we went and spent £2 million Yamada, who £5 million, by the way, I don't really want to talk about him much because he's not really played much with Cadger fully, but as the days go on and weeks go on, the £5 million in Bartlisha looks an absolute horrendous buy. I really hope I'm proved wrong. I really hope in the next few weeks he starts to get the ball rolling and I've got egg in my face, but as it stands right now, whoever scouted him, shaking neill if that's our recruitment team and we're paying £5 million on him.
I think there is a lot of fairness in what you're saying regarding Balak Ryan. However, the question I'm wanting to know, what is it he's bringing? But
I don't see anything.
We've not seen any apart from that setup for Maeda's goal against Motherwell. There's nothing there to know what he brings.
Here's one to yourself, right?
Even if he plays, what position does he play? But
even though he's been a great servant, right? As obviously speaking to Baz on here and speaking to Baz personally. Baz has said how brilliant James Forrest was, brilliant trainer, brilliant player for Celtic. He's 34, nearly 35, and he's been playing in front of your five. Now, this is no against James Forrest. He's getting to the veteran stage of his career, still able to contribute, as we've seen, but he's playing in front of your £5 million, let's say marquee signing, but one of your bigger signings in the window, and James Forrest is playing over him. You've got other Maeda's playing outright, or the left, whatever, he plays him in front of him. It's not a good look. Aye, scone and butter. I said that previously. Again, people might think it's pettiness, but I think professional football players wearing gloves, warm up is fine, training fine, but
By the
on
way,
a game,
since Neill's come in, he's no demon.
I just think it's weak mentally. It's different if it's -10, -15, and you're in Russia and your hands are going to freeze off. But no when it's 13 degrees in Glasgow. It's not like he's came from Belgium. It's not like he's came from Antarctica. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's came from Canada, but it's -50 or -40, whatever it is in Canada.
Yeah.
So I just think he just doesn't look the sort of player that's such a Scottish game, mate. I really hope. I really hope that
he was loved at Antwerp. That's the thing as well. You've
I
got
hope
to look
I'm
at
wrong,
that
mate.
and say, right,
I hope I'm wrong. And January comes and we've got a new manager and he plays every week. I hope I'm wrong and I've got egg in my face. But we can only go on and what we see right now. And it's the same with guys like Osmond and Simpson, PUSEY. We all think they're not good enough because they're not even in the squad. We think they're not good enough or they're honking or why are we signing these players? But then Osmond comes in, maybe something to work with.
Man, he affects the game, man. The boy Osmond straight
That's
away.
what I'm saying. But with Barrett Wisha, JP, even when he came on against Midtjylland, I don't see what he gives you. He doesn't run direct. He doesn't go forward with the ball. He doesn't make darts. He doesn't want to take men on.
You talk about Barrett Wisha there, right? And I tell you, man, I know it doesn't sit right. I mean, it wouldn't have done if I was there. Mate, he's right down the tunnel after a full-time whistle, man.
No, that's horrible.
Come on, what you doing, son?
Nah,
like, that can't happen, right? That cannot happen. You need to go and clap your fans. I don't care.
Yep.
You know, I don't care, you know, what's going on in your head. You need to go and say thank you. It doesn't take long for you to go and yeah, I don't know how you feel, mate, but for me that was really bad. I thought that was bad.
Aye, I don't like it myself, mate. Doesn't matter if you win 4-0 or get beat 4-0 or whatever, you go and clap the fans. They are, especially if it's abroad as well. They're travelling all that way to go and see you, and you've not put in a good performance, and then there's a way down the tunnel. Nah, I know for me, mate, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. I'm not going to sit here and criticise too much because we don't know the situation. Maybe there's a reason behind it. I don't know, but I don't like that, mate. Nah, no for me, mate. But again, I don't know the full circumstances. Why? There might have been a reason why. I don't want to. It might have needed a number 2. I don't know. I'm trying to not really criticise him for it because I don't know the reason behind it. Maybe he was too cold. I don't know, but I don't like that, JP. You go and clap the fans and you get home down the tunnel. Then you don't. But well, I don't know.
Tanner ball dribbler, man, that is wait till it's really cold. He'll come out like Kenny for South Park. No, 100%. He'll look. I seen out of ET, man, with the hood up and all that, wasn't he?
But again, I don't know the reason behind it, mate. But again, it's not really been spoken about at all since. So obviously,
somebody says he's like the wee guy for Cool Runnings for the game and all that. He puts the players up.
But the fact that as well, like there's been some players who have come in and got a chance under Sean and Martin. He's hardly played, mate. He's maybe get 20 minutes, 10 minutes. He's not actually get. I don't. Has he only started 1 or 2 games since he signed? And now this is November. So for me, unless you've had a major injury or whatever else, he's came in August, and it's no November, and you're not really set. Surely it shouldn't. I understand people get homesick, JP, right? But it's not like he's came for like Japan or Australia, like Tom Rogic took him a long time to settle.
Stan Petrov's phoned his mate on a burger van to try and get me settled quicker.
But listen, I really hope Barrett Wisha comes in and does really well, and obviously the next few games and the future. But he's got a long contract. He's probably in decent wages. He's came for big money, and for what I'm seeing for a player that's signed for £5 million, he's no showed anything that's worthy of being at Celtic. But I hope I'm wrong, and I can have egg in my face, which I'll happily have.
No, I'm the same as you. I don't want to put the boy down or like run him into the ground. I'm not here to do that. But we've just yet to see what he's about, you know. And we're all kind of waiting and hoping that, you know, all of a sudden he's going to spring to life. But I don't want to write him off. I don't want to be that unfair and say that, you know, as we gather towards the festive period and over by the January and then into February, etc. For still sitting here going, right, where is he or what's he doing? Or yeah, you know, it'll then come into a big question for me. But no, I don't want to write the guy off. I think it would be silly again. Like Ryan says, folks, you know, a new manager could come in and we could get a bounce at him and maybe moving him a position or putting him somewhere that we don't see just now, or he's not even getting an opportunity in just now. Then you just don't know what's around the corner, because I'll go back to it. Nobody's seen Liam Scales coming into the Celtic team. He's now a mainstay. You know, at one point he was at Aberdeen. He's in the Aberdeen's record history team of losing to Darvel. So he was part of that team that night. You know, probably the worst result in Scottish football history, in my opinion. No disrespect to Darvel, it was just obviously, you know, the magnitude of that game where Aberdeen were in the Premier League, Darvel were in the division they're in. Nobody seen that coming. And Aberdeen were in a good place, but they fell into that trap that night and that result happened. But Liam Scales played with Darvel that night. So we can only go on what we're seeing in terms of Balikwisha. And so far, the question mark is, what is Balikwisha about? So as yet, we don't know. We'll need to wait and see. Obviously, Ryan, the goals yesterday, mate. Obviously, Kieran Tierney, again, mate, that left foot drive right across into the far corner, mate. What was your thoughts?
Cracking finish, mate. Really, really good finish.
Did you expect him to hit it?
No, but then when I seen him shifting it, I think he's going to hit this here. Brilliant finish. He actually looked good when he came on yesterday. Again, I thought he looked good when he came on against Rangers as well. He's gained you some parts of the old Katie, but then he's kind of shown you that there's parts of him there's some parts of him think see, as much as we might talk about his fitness, whatever else. Tell you one thing, he's no worse is his crossing ability. He's probably the best crosser at this football club. See the balls he whips in the box, man. Pace, accuracy. He's done it against Rangers. He's done it every game. His crossing ability is tremendous. I don't think we've got a crosser like him at the club. Maybe Engels potentially, but in terms of all the time, it's just about pinpoint all the time. No, listen, cracking finish, mate, and he will obviously maybe get a bit of game time now as well with Sriracha being injured. So if he's injured long term or even short term, even hopefully he stays fit with Scotland. They might not play with Scotland. Andy Robertson might play, so he might come off the bench. Which don't know. Do you want to play again fitness or do you want me rest? I don't know what's better for us. But I hopefully goes and does well with Scotland. Hopefully we get the World Cup. We're 2 games away, so hopefully we're celebrating that as well. But no, listen, cracking goal, mate, and it's hopefully something we can see more often.
Yeah, I think he needed it as well. I think it came at a time where he needed that as well to feel that energy again. It was good to see him, you know, celebrate the way he did. He looked really as if it was like a weight off his shoulders, really, doing it. Hearing that noise again at Celtic Park.
Was that not his last goal since the Leipzig game for Celtic?
I think he might be right, mate, but he did that night. He captained Celtic against Steve Clark's Kilmarnock team. He scored a specky that night at Celtic Park in the Cup.
I'm sure. Was that no 2017 or something?
I think he might be right, mate. Aye.
I'm sure Leipzig. Was it 2-1 we beat Leipzig? So was that the game? Is it 2-1? We beat Leipzig.
Yeah. Aye, we beat Leipzig. Edward Guerrero won, didn't he?
That's right, aye.
Yeah. We beat Leipzig 2-1, and it was Ralph Rangnick's Leipzig team we played that night. Yeah, That's right. And he scored against Man City in Champions League as well. That was a good goal. Oh, it took a deflection rating off Raheem Sterling, but it was it was good to see that energy again getting up the pitch. Good ball with Tom Rogic that night out to him. So it was really good. I really enjoyed that finish. On to the third goal, mate. Wow. Just what an amazing bit of play. A guy who, in my opinion, is extremely questioned just about every time he's on the field for Celtic. Again, doing what he does. He does it at least once a game. And it's, it's to not just take the ball, but to release the ball. He's envisaged that pass happening before it's came to him, Ryan. And the way Engels just delivers it right onto my head, mate, is just exquisite, man.
Oh, it's phenomenal, mate. People doubt Engels quite a lot. Is it because of price tag? Potentially. When he came on yesterday, I thought he was really good again. Obviously scored a penalty, which we'll touch on. I've said it like you. He does that once or twice every single game. His deliveries 9 times out of 10 for corners are different class.
Mm-hmm.
He's through balls. His distribution is very good. He might lack certain things, but he is only 21, 22. It is only his second season. It probably is because he's came for £11 million, which we all know it's due to, again, this isn't us making things up. It's due to things in the boardroom that it might be £11 million, it might be less than that, and it is what it is. James, I was working late last night on the night, mate, so I'm a bit tired. But thanks for your mate to say I look handsome, James, man. That's made me feel better with myself. But no, Arnie Engels, mate, I'm a big fan of him, always have been. I see a bigger picture of him. I see a high ceiling with him.
Yeah.
I still think we'll get our money back from him. If it's £11 million, I still think we'll get it back because I think he's got a high ceiling. Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say I get that one wrong. There has been some games when he's played for us, I'm thinking, right, maybe I have got that wrong. But then he does something, I'm thinking, nah, he's got the raw ability, JP, to play under a right manager that plays in the right position and doesn't put him in places where he's know when to play. Play him in a position where he played for Augsburg, and that's why he got to move here, because he was highly touted for them. So I like him, JP. I think he's got a high ceiling, and I just hope that he continues to progress, be that if it's through Martin or if it's through if it's Nance that comes in, if it's Knutson, whoever it is that comes in, then I think he could be a main player, because he was a main player for us last year. And that's what I don't get with Rodgers as well, JP. I'm not saying that he's into Dan. I'm not saying that, but he was a major player for us last year in Europe, played some really good games for Europe, and then this season Rodgers goes, you know what, I'm not really playing you. It doesn't make sense how a guy that you've signed played a lot last year. Which changed between May and August?
I think he was trying to fit.
He's signing Negrin, but
I think he was trying to fit in Negrin. Yeah,
I understand
that's
it.
the only thing I can see.
I understand it, but then he's playing Hatate, who's been
he's been off it as well. Yeah.
So I don't know, but listen, Engels for me, I think he's a good player, mate, and I think he gets a bit of critic because he's transfer fee. If he was £5 or £6 million, you'd be probably calling it a bargain. So I get it. I get why people question it, because sometimes I question it myself. But I think all round, I think he's a very good player. Mate.
I've never questioned Engels. Never questioned Engels. I go back to the game that, he made Ademola Lookman look like a wee boy. He actually took him home that night in his pocket,
different class
and his hold dog, different gravy, man, in Atalanta. And I can't get that game out my head. That's Arnie Engels. That's why we paid 11 million quid for Arnie Engels. And that pass yesterday was unbelievable. That was what a ball that is. Again, he sees that run before Maeda makes it as well. He sees Maeda going, because again, that's, you talk about playing with somebody often enough, you know how they're going to move. But he made Ademola, a guy that single-handedly won Atalanta the Europa League the year before. He made him look really silly in that game. He couldn't move. He actually couldn't. Every time he turned, Engels was on him, putting tackles in, putting his body in, getting in the road, making a nuisance of himself, winning the ball back, playing balls round the corner. And, yeah.
I think, I don't know if you think the same, mate, but our reviewers think it as well. I think he's a confidence player. I think if somebody, he's maybe similar, because Martin, obviously, before he's got the job, again, he was very highly praising him on TalkSport. He likes him.
But Ryan, he's brilliant at penalties and all, by the way.
Aye, he's brilliant.
Oh, my goodness.
People might think that then that's easy. Well, go and you step up for 60,000 and take a penalty.
Yeah.
And see how nerve-wracking it is, because it will be nerve-wracking. But he seems maybe a confidence player. But any time that you hear him talking in interviews, he talks really well. And again, mate, it's just my opinion. I like him, and I think he's going to get better the more he plays. And the fact that he did get called up to Belgium when he first came here shows you they obviously thought he was a good player. I know he's not really been in there since, but
yeah.
No, I like him, mate, and I think he will progress. I hope I've got the right angle on him. I do like him, and I do see a high ceiling on him, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely, 100%. I really do like him. I think he fits the mould of our team really, really well. I love the way he gets about the pitch. I love when he plays with Callum. I love how he compliments Callum. He's not frightened about a dig an alright. I think he's aggression, especially in that Rangers game recently. He's getting in about it. So, yeah, I really do think that I'm the same as you. I think there's a high ceiling to me on the Engels there. So it's, it's all to play for him now. For when we come back after the international break, he'll probably enjoy a wee bit of rest. Because obviously Martin did say that his hammy or something, or he felt one of his muscles quite tight after the Midtjylland game, which was a worry going into probably why he was on the bench yesterday. It was nothing to do with his performance, because since Martin's come in, he's played him nearly every game. So, and he's been part of every game again. So it's it's one of those ones. We need to wait and see. So you'll get a bit of time off probably. Go and rest, recuperate, get yourself ready again to go again. Because as we hit December, Ryan, you probably play a quarter of your league games, mate, in that month. You look at it that way. So yeah, it's all to play for there. That's when pressure starts to mount. We're hearing all this stuff about Hearts, and like I say, it's not a Bernabeu. It's no all of a sudden it's Real Madrid we're playing against here. You're hearing all this stuff about Hearts doing this, Hearts doing that. Listen to the manager's interview yesterday. This is a guy you're talking, he was talking under pressure. They dropped points yesterday again. So, as I say, we'll wait and see when it starts to get to the nitty-gritty how Hearts' squad becomes stretched and everything else. So it's one of those ones. It's guys like, Arnie Engels and Benjamin Negrin and stuff, we'll start maybe to see those guys doing more in the Celtic team as we go, right? I like Benji Negrin and all. I think he's not a shrinking violet.
I've seen some comments in the chat, guys. I don't know what people are arguing about, but if just try and calm it down, guys. We don't want any kind of abusive stuff in the chats. You're on here.
Sorry,
chat with us.
Sorry, Ryan, what's going on?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but people having a wee dig at John. I don't know the reason, but surely. John's a good guy. John's on here quite a lot. He's puts his comments in. John's a cracking guy, so I don't know the reason behind what's going on. But guys, just or girls, whoever it is, just keep it clean, please. This is a family wee chat. We just do this to have a wee chat for yourselves. So yeah, just try and keep it clean, guys, in the chat. Just don't argue. Just some positive vibes, please, guys. Try and not really give any negative abuse to people, please. No, I just see some of the comments, mate. There's people kind of having a wee debate. I don't know what it's about, but John's been getting some negative comments towards him. So,
well, listen, I mean,
we don't want that.
This is the thing, and I've always been kind of the mindset as if you don't have anything nice to say, there's no point in saying anything at all. But we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different scenarios, and I understand people. But we're not all going to agree. But we can't all agree if it's somebody's opinion or if it's something that's going on, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But the one thing I would ask always is, if you don't agree, that's fine. But there is no need with any individual to become personal with someone, especially if you maybe don't know that individual, but you only see them in a comment section of a YouTube channel, or if you can't, if you can't agree with that person, that's absolutely fine. But if you're becoming personal, yeah, what I would say, especially this day and age as well, and I'm quite big on people's mental health and people's current circumstances. You don't know what an individual's going through. You don't know what maybe somebody's had on that day, or maybe somebody's, what's happened in their life. If you send someone an abusive message, or you put out an abusive message directly towards an individual, you have to be mindful of your words being cutting. Your words can absolutely destroy an individual in a moment. So, a lot of you have maybe watched this channel from, for a long time. But, be mindful of people's feelings, because it can do more damage to an individual than you probably think it can in a moment, just because of your own frustrations, for whatever reason that may be. So I would always ask anybody who's watching us in the comments or anything else, just be mindful, that's all. Because we've got a lot of people that watch this channel. We try our best to interact with the majority of folk that comment in here, and I think we do okay at that. I think with myself, Ryan, Alan, all the boys that contribute in the show, Big Bev when he's on, I think we do our best to try and engage, and we don't want to see anybody being targeted, Ryan, or being the direct pillar
Like
for
I don't know,
any sort of abuse.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, until you said anything, Ryan, I've been too busy chatting about Celtic, mate. And
we'll also move on for it, but I don't know what's going on. I've just seen some people getting direct abuse on or comments to them. So
right, well, we can't.
We'll just leave it at that. But just please try and be mindful. Aye.
100%.
And we'll just try and get back to Celtic. But yeah, guys in the chat, just enjoy a bit of banter as obviously we do, but I just try and toe the line a wee bit. As Winston would say, toe the line, carpe diem. Just try and take a wee chill pill
Anyway,
if you can. And
nobody's took abuse on here like I have. So if I can,
or us,
if I
called
can,
different under the sun.
By the way, I've been caught worse than that
Than
what I've seen on here. But it's, you know, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Me
Look at
personally.
Govern, you're getting all the F's and the B's, and you're getting called everything.
That's what I was going to say.
There's 2 guys off that podcast, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's, you know, but again, you have you've no see that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm not, mate. Don't take my kindness for daftness. So, as I said, be mindful. Certainly not. There's, you know, everybody's got another side to them, and I get it. But
there was a comment as well about Negrin. You mentioned about him, how he always plays in different positions, but he's just got to finish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's played in a few positions since he's came in, and the one for me, Ryan, is behind the striker. I think that's where he's best and where he operates best. You watch his relationship with Johnny Kenny against Falkirk. He sets up, you know, the goals. He's involved. Even against Rangers, he's involved. He gets us up the park. He can put his body in. So for me, he affects the game that way. And I think he can be a player that will certainly grow in the Celtic team. I think he's very similar to Matt O'Reilly in that mould. He's good with the ball. Again, Ryan, I don't know if it's going to take maybe an Ange Postecoglou type of manager to bring another style out in Negrin. Who knows? But I think there's certainly more. There's certainly more to him than what we're seeing just now, and obviously that'll be good for us as we go.
I know, definitely. He's obviously got a knack for scoring goals. But it does frustrate me, Negrin, because 1 minute he does something brilliant, and then next minute I'm thinking, is that why we paid £1.7 million for you? But we obviously know why we got him on the cheap. But he's definitely got some attributes to him that are potentially going to get better. I just wish he had a bit of pace. Obviously, he's quite with the ball at his feet, but if he had a bit of pace, he'd be a really good player. He is obviously a good player, but obviously know what I mean. But I know. Listen, see, be fair, for the price we paid for him, he's actually done all right. He's done all right considering. We can't really complain. Whatever he does is a bonus because we've not really paid much for him, and he's actually done pretty decent. 5 goals he's got or something so far. So, I know. Listen, I think he'll get better under new manager as well, depending on who that is. Never know if it is Knutson. I know. If you look at the betting or you look at social media right now, Nancy's kind of
let's go to that, right? I know we're coming near the end, but let's go to that, Ryan, in terms of the new manager. Our good man, our good friend of the podcast is Anthony Joseph's put out tonight that, you know, top of that pile now is Wilfred Nancy, obviously the Frenchman who plies his trade at Columbus Crew in the MLS. They've just narrowly lost out in a playoff the other night. They get beat with Cincinnati 2-1. Again, you know, a very attack-minded manager, but similar to Ange Postecoglou in that, you know, people call it gung-ho type football, 3D football, as it's been mentioned as well. We understand that he's good friends with our man Paul Tilsdale, along with his number 2 over there as well. They know him obviously through football, and yeah, in terms of the managerial, what's your thoughts?
Without looking too much into him before, it doesn't really fill me with excitement. This is me without doing any research about him, without knowing about him, just looking at the team he manages for the onset, what he's done in the game. It's not really filling me with excitement. It's not really giving me like if you want to call it a blockbuster managing appointment, obviously going for Brendan Rodgers, who, no matter what you think about him, Brendan Rodgers is one of Celtic's most successful managers that's ever been at the football club. No matter what you think about him personally, or what you think about his lies, or whatever you think about him, his record stands. He's won everything in Scottish football. He's completed Scottish football. If he stayed that on this year, he might have no this season, but he's left. And in terms of his trophy haul, it's there to be seen. So we can give Brendan Rodgers grief or whatever, but he's gave this club some unbelievable times. I've seen Brendan Rodgers give my team an unbeaten, invincible treble, which probably won't have done again in my lifetime. If it is, I really hope so. But to win a treble,
he backed up with a double treble.
Aye, unbelievable, mate. No matter, people can say that I would never challenge for Rangers or this and that. It doesn't matter. To win a treble, invincible, is unbelievable at any level of football. So you want a manager of that class, JP. No, I don't know much about the MLS. I know wee snippets. I don't know much about.
Can I just actually intervene just now, mate? I'm on social media. I was just having a wee quick, just as we're chatting here, mate. Our good friend Jonathan Burns, aka Tommy Burns' son, has put out a tweet tonight saying top, and it's all about Wilfred Nancy. So obviously he knows more about him. I think it's about time we maybe reach out to our friend and get some into
him. I don't know much about him, mate. Just by the outset of top. Right, we'll touch on that in a minute then.
I'm actually going to try and get that photo with the caption. Just on you go, mate. I'm doing this.
I just think that for the outset, just because you're maybe going for Brendan Rodgers to that kind of where he's managing, it doesn't seem like Celtic. It doesn't fit the blockbuster, if you want to call that maybe some of us fans want. But if Jonathan and other guys are saying that he's potentially very good, then I've got to go with guys that know more than me. I don't watch the MLS. I can only go on research with Google.
Is that maybe why? Is that maybe why some opinions might be like that, Ryan?
Possibly,
is this similar to Jan's Postecoglou? Is this similar to that appointment to a lot of people?
It could be, mate. Wilfred Nancy as well. It's not a blockbuster name in football in terms of what we know, so we can't comment. It's a different ball game going for MLS to Celtic, but
you can understand that like, some of the shouts are going to be as well with that kind of name.
If Jonathan rates him,
we'll be getting called the Nancy boys.
Obviously Jonathan's.
What's going on? By the way, people are going to be like, Ryan, what's going on at Celtic? We've signed a guy called PUSEY. Now we're signing a guy called Nancy. What's going on here? What's happening?
I know. No, listen, I don't know about the guy. Kenneth, I don't know about the guy, mate. So I can't. Daisy says he follows Philly style. Listen, if the manager that we gets bums off his seats, it's attacking football, and he wins his trophies, I don't care what his name is. I don't care who he is, what league he's for. If he brings success to his football club, then he's got my support. Whoever we get, if it's Knutson, if it's Nancy, if it was Damien Duff.
Well, to be fair, as Andy says there, I was disappointed we didn't get Arsene Wenger to be called the Wenger boys in the first place. I thought we maybe could have made a play for that.
I honestly, whoever we get, JP, I'm not going to, some of what I do now with players now, I'm not going to judge the guy now till he comes, because if we judge Dan Postecoglou just on where he managed, know about his trophies, but he's won trophies, but he's won trophies in a league that's not maybe the best. He comes to Celtic, he's different class, goes to Spurs, wins Europa League, take away what he done in the league. He won Europa League with Spurs and he got him finishing, was it 8 for 7 for something? So, listen, if he comes, we support him, and he's got a big job in his hands, because next summer is a massive rebuild, and January's probably going to be the biggest January we've had in a long time, because some players might need to move, some players might need to be massively given a kick up the bum, and some players will need to be signed, because we need to add a striker probably, potentially another right back, potentially another winger. So there's plenty to build on, mate. So if it's Nancy, we come in, we get him supported, and hopefully he does a good job for us, mate.
Yeah, here's that tweet that went out by our good friend friend Jonathan Burns, and all it says is top. Everything Celtic put out about him, and he's obviously retweeted that with the caption in that top.
And obviously we've spoke to Jonathan a few times now, and Jonathan knows his stuff. Obviously been through his dad. He's obviously seen football a lot. And
I couldn't, by the way, seeing me done that interview with him, I could not believe it. I felt like I was sitting there with his dad.
He's brilliant, JP. Hopefully we'll try and get him back on again in the near future. But Jonathan was brilliant. Very good chat, but he's very knowledgeable about football. He's obviously in America coaching, and he's a proper coach as well. So no, if Jonathan's saying he's good, mate, then he knows far more than probably most of us in here in Scotland. So
Paul, see, to be fair with your comment there, mate, I'm actually going to look at my yellow tie, I think, for the next one. Because it seems to be where the breaking news is coming for Ryan, because as Paul says there, it happened when Rodgers was leaving. Just there, it was breaking. We were kind of totally thrown by that. And then obviously the news filters in, Martin Neill's getting the job, and we were at the end of our podcast. Is it about to happen again that Celtic are about to announce?
I don't know what, obviously, before we end the show, what your thoughts on him, mate. But again, I'm not going to judge a guy. I don't know much about him, just from his profile in terms of where he's managing, and I've not really heard much about him, so I'm going to go, right, we've went for Brendan Rodgers, but it could be an absolute total surprise. You could come in and like somebody, the commenter says, get his bums off his seats. See, as long as we get attacking football and we see success, I don't care where he's from, who he is, that's all we want to see is attacking football, winning football games, and continuing to be the best we can in Scotland and potentially thriving in Europe. That's all we want, mate.
I've done a small bit of due diligence on him. It was rumoured a couple of weeks ago that he was a target for us. So when I seen it, I thought, left field, right, okay, this is kind of 9 times out of 10 where Celtic really go. And all your Kieran McKenna's and all these people that were all linked to the job, like Craig Bellamy and Kusnutson and all. For me, they were all the smoke screens, and I thought, this is what Celtic do. They go and they find guys like this. They done it with Ange Postecoglou. So that's the education for me, Ryan. That's the referencing point for me in the education. Paul Tilsdale, I believe, Ian. I believe it was rumoured a couple of weeks ago, mate, that he was going to be part of the managerial search.
I'll actually just check Jonathan's tweet. Somebody's asked him, is he your man? Jonathan just says he's really good, mate. His team by a million miles are the best team to watch in MLS.
I was just getting to that there. I was building to that there.
Oh, were you on his tweet? Did you see it?
No, I was building. No, his tweet. I was building to what I read about the guy and what he's done.
He says he's done a presentation and he's the best presenter on a pitch by a distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, listen. What I will say, I don't know anything about the guy personally. I've never seen him. I've never came across him up until I was reading about him. What I will say is he's took a team who, again, it's kind of hard to judge in that league. I'm not there. I don't see it week in, week out. But he's took a team that wasn't really known for a brand of football, and he's transformed them into one of the top performing teams in the MLS. So much so that they got to a playoff. I think that's the furthest this team have been in a long time. And that sort of, bearing in mind, this is a division where Ronnie Delia played his trade not long ago and done very, very well. So all I know about him is he's a very attack-minded manager. But he's also proactive in his decision-making. So he can change things. Yeah, that's the thing as well. When I was reading about it, Kenneth, I read that, during their search, obviously because of the 49ers, they'll know a lot more about him than what we do. He was talked about with Rangers. That was an avenue that they were potentially looking to explore. as I said, all I know is he's an attack-minded manager. Now, for me, the education's there with Ange Postecoglou. When I seen the link, Ryan, that's when I started to read about him, because I thought, these links don't... somebody's not just conducted that name out the top of their head, mate, and just made that up. That's came through a diligent process. Where has that name came from? And that's what got me interested. That's what got me keen. So I started listening. I've listened to him speaking. He swears, by the way. He's done a couple of interviews in the MLS where he actually swears. And one thing I will say, Ryan, which got me really intrigued, was, see, when he's speaking, he doesn't talk about winning, Ryan. Does he mention winning once?
I've seen a clip of
He's
that,
all about
actually.
He's all about high performance.
I've seen that.
And right away, Ryan, I was, you don't normally see that in football, Ryan, because it's all about winning, and you need to win, and you need. Now at a club at Celtic, we all know you need to win. But he believes in a high performance, you then get results for that.
Was it not a coach or a player under him? He says he doesn't mention winning. It's always about improving and developing. And
yeah, he's the same, Ryan. Yeah, I've heard about him as well. I've heard Knutsen is the same. Yeah.
Sorry, that's the clip I seen. It wasn't Nancy. It was Knutsen. That's what it was.
Yeah, he's the same. Apparently, he's the same. But this guy isn't. He's not like that. And right away, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sold here. I'm really sold, because...
See, the only thing, JP, see if he comes and plays good football, it doesn't matter if he doesn't win. He's got to win. So if he's still a footballer's like Ange and we win, brilliant. But see if he's still a footballer's...
I'm going to be biased here, mate. What's Celtic if you play an attacking brand of football and it's similar to Ange Postecoglou? You're going to win, mate. You're going to win.
It's how will they adapt to the European side. That's probably the one we don't know about. Any manager probably we don't know about.
This is it. I mean, again, he's managed over in the MLS. Niall Bradley's asking who's going to win the SPL. I'm going to tell you right now, Celtic will win the league. There you go. You can clip me, you can mark my words, you can, and call it experience. And Celtic are liquor there.
It's went in 2 weeks. It's went from 8 to 4 right away, and if you didn't, McInnes come out now asking for added time. And
he's saying if Celtic or Rangers were top of that league, it'd be 7 and 8 minutes getting added on at the end of it. That's what you call pressure, Ryan.
But what about St Mirren? Have they not got added minutes to get as well? No, is it just Hearts? So
Celtic will win the league. There's no doubt in my mind Celtic will win the league. There's far too many winners in our team. Martin O'Neill's quickly reminded them of that, and he spoke about it at volume level on the Premier Sports podium when he was up talking to Charlie Mulgrew. You'll see, I mean, you and Cameron backtracking, you'll see a lot more than that happening, Ryan. Trust me. There'll be an apology getting handed out at the end of the season to Celtic.
When it comes to Hearts, I think, listen, I think Hearts have got every right to be happy and be excited and potentially dream of it. Listen, they're in a good position.
What I will say is Hearts are in a great position to split the Glasgow teams. I think there's an argument there for that, Ryan.
Aye, especially if in January they've got a good window. No, listen, see if you're a Hearts fan, they've every right to dream of winning the league. They've got every right of dreaming under big things. That's one thing I'll say to any Celtic fan. I wouldn't really begin Hearts fans at anything tight, because they're allowed to dream. Look at Leicester. They're probably dreaming, we win the league with a few points ahead, and then eventually they win the league. It's definitely not impossible, but if it's going to happen, no, because I think depending on who we get as a manager, we'll just I think with a good January, we'll just continue to go forward. So that's just my opinion. If Rodgers was here for the next few weeks, things might have been different, because we were going down a downward spiral. No matter what anybody says, we can kid on, but we can, our heart will ride sometimes. We'll be all right. We'll turn that around, and even us on here, we'll keep the faith. There's only so long you can keep faith in players that are not performing, a manager that's playing guys that shouldn't be playing. So, no, listen, if you're a Hearts fan, fair enough. You can continue to dream until the team's gone, but I still think that once it gets to January, we'll strengthen, mate. We've got a bit of muscle. If the board want to play ball, mate, we will win the league. If the board continue to spend money...
Put it this way, you see what I said earlier on tonight, Ryan? Well, the proof is in the pudding there, because if we then go and recruit properly in January, then the problem is obviously Brendan Rodgers. That goes to my point earlier on. That must have been the issue, the non-committal side of things, because if the board then go and sanction deals for other players to come in, bearing in mind, by the way, we've still got Jota. Now, I know people are going to go, JP's not played for a long time. You don't forget how to play football. So it's, it's like going on a bike. Okay, it'll take a wee bit of time to get fit, but Jota could come back at a very important time of the season and be like a new signing for your squad with an injection of quality. This has been overlooked by everybody. That alone, you look at Alistair Johnston, he's going to be out for another period of time, but he might come back at a period of time where we actually do need him. I'll go back to it again. When you get to the January, February, that's what's called the business end of the season, right? See your players like Casper and Callum and Austin Trusty and Kieran Tierney and all the big players that you're relying on to get you through games. That's when they all come to the fore, mate. That's when they come alive. That's when Celtic come alive. Who knows, we might have a new manager by then. And by that point, Celtic are looking different. I predict that will be the case. Breezy Eye said, I watched him yesterday, mate, against us, and he was absolutely schooled by a guy that a couple of weeks ago people were saying we're finished. Young David Watson, he took to school yesterday with the master, Carl McGregor. And it was like watching Paul McStay playing against
Conor Barron.
Aye, more or less. That's probably do you know what, Ryan? That's probably the most fairest reference you could probably put out there, mate. It was probably like Paul McStay playing against Lewis. Aye. Lewis Campbell. Diamante, aye. Diamante. But yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing. People are rating him higher than Lenny Miller. But what they're not telling you is they're on a high dosage or something for their GP when they're saying these things to you. Breezy Eyes.
Like I keep saying as well, listen, it's no strawberry. There's some guys...
We're going to need to go as well. We're finishing up.
I know. We've obviously had David Turnbull down there for Celtic. Luke McKevin's a squad player at Celtic, but he's done well for £1 million. David Watson will be the same as Luke McKevin if he comes to Celtic. He's not going to displace McGregor, Hatate, Engels, Negrin. So right away, can he disbelieve? Is it better than Bernardo? No. Is it better than McKevin? No. So why sign him?
Breezy Eyes, that could be a possibility. In your comment there, that could be a possibility. Maybe something a wee bit stronger, I would say, even than that. However, we'll never know. But it comes across, mate, when things get said. And I go back to it, even months ago when I says never doubt this Celtic crop. But I fully believe in this group of players.
We'll win away eventually.
We'll get there, Ryan.
We'll get there eventually.
But that is all we've got time for tonight. Thank you very much for everybody that's tuned in across the platforms. And Ryan, same to yourself, pal.
Cheers again, mate. Enjoy. We'll see you all very soon.
Take care, folks. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Hey,
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!